Is it good levels? Good levels? Good levels? Good levels?
Yeah.
We're at TWI right now. My name is Leo. The person behind the camera is Albert. Albert said hi. Hello. We are testing the brand new Nikon Zf today. We're going to take you to the streets of Sydney and see how this one goes. More of a practical session. Behind me is all the colors from the ZF system, right? I have the sunset orange. Is it the sunset orange?
Sunset orange is the official name.
Okay, there we go. Sunset orange. It's popping out. Okay, wearing all black today goes really well together. Okay, let's go to the streets. So we're gonna do a bit of a street photography, and for me, when it comes to street photography, I'm not really using the center point because I never know when people's gonna come from, like left and right. So I'm gonna have the entire screen as the focusing point. So we're using all the focusing points. I said focusing points way many times. Focusing points. So in here, I'm going all the way down to the bottom of auto area AF, means that it takes the entire screen for evaluation. So let's go. Well, I have to say, this camera is taking me back like 30 years, although I'm only 20 years old. What are you smiling about? What are you smiling about? This is the first time we're doing this. We're smiling behind the camera. I'm gonna put it on 800 ISO because it gives me the ability to shoot on smaller aperture, which gives me, you know, a longer depth of field for street photography. So my shutter speed is at 250, and the great thing about this camera, and the great thing about this camera is that all the dials, all the important ones, is right up here. So you can choose your ISO, shutter speed, exposure compensation, just about everything that you need for street photography shooting. Oh, sorry. Don't bump into my Nikon, man. All right, we gotta go, run. That's what the old street is about, man. Just getting up and about and running around. This camera has a full frame sensor from the Z6 II and has the processor from the Z8 and the Z9. So,
and just to add, there's also 8 stops of built-in body stabilization, which is quite good for a camera this size.
As fast as the Z8, which is incredible in a vintage-looking body like this one.
It's a retro feel. It gives you a nostalgic feel.
It makes you want to take photos, to be honest, and when you hold it right next to you, it kind of feels good.
Talk about the small rig on there.
Oh, we do have the small rig on this camera. So it's one of those rigs that is not too big. It fits perfectly, in my opinion. There are some rigs that are like massive, extends it out for longer. This one is perfect size. If you want one for this camera, just buy it as a package. I think it's a good deal. Even without it, it still has a little grip, so it holds pretty well. If you do have big hands, make sure you get one of these grips, but they're nice to hold. Yeah. The overall ergonomics of this camera is top notch. Like, you're not gonna beat anything like this. When all the dials are up on top, that's all you need. You don't need to faff around in the menu system. And they feel super tactile as well. So whenever you change the settings, you'll definitely know. It's more of a feel sort of thing. We're gonna see how the autofocus works first. We're gonna see how fast it tracks things. And maybe after that we can do some portrait sort of thing. Looks nice. All right, get one on the side of my body. Here you go. What a fashion statement this is. It definitely looks nice, right? We have 7 different colors, so. That was one shot there. Let's actually take some photos.
Maybe get a bustling shot of Pitt Street Mall down the center.
Down the center. The
standard symmetry, very classical.
Done. Let's go. Keep moving. We've got some colorful attire in front of us, and I may try to capture that.
It's the same thing there at the beginning of the. I've got to get you. Yeah, that's what I'm
I got some. Nothing amazing, but for me, I really look at this camera as a lifestyle camera. It's not really your workhorse. Like, it's good looking camera, but it feels nice. Put it on the shelf.
Put it on the shelf.
And you can look at it.
Really
look how beautiful
nice.
this looks. The boys. This has 26 megapixels. When you only have 26 megapixel, your low light performance is going to be drastically better than a camera that has 40 megapixel, which makes this camera even more versatile for street photography. Isn't that amazing? My name is Santa. You've seen me from those videos, the Christmas videos, where I say, this is Santa Leo. That is indeed who I am. I brought this tree here. We have a 40mm f2, which you can buy as a kit. This is a different sort of 40mm. This is a vintage looking 40mm. It goes all the way back to the 70s and 80s. They had the same similar design for the 40mm. 40mm f2, pretty sharp, nice and compact, exactly what you need for street photography or just the everyday sort of photography. Overall, this is a great setup. I can see why they put it in as a kit because it goes perfectly together. 40 is one of those focal lengths that you can kind of do like bit of landscape, but you can nail portraits as well as street photography. So it's a very versatile lens, like the 40mm. It's rare, but I don't know why, maybe 35 is too popular. Oh, that was close.
Whoa.
That was close. That was close.
Very close.
We almost just saw a crash. That I would have gotten that on that camera, on this camera as well, since the autofocus is so fast. Okay, burst rate that. Okay.
How's the screen on there?
Look, once you are used to like a DSLR, you're looking through the optical. Whenever you look at an EVF or LCD, it kind of bothers you a little bit. But I have to say, this one is pretty good. I don't know the exact specs, how many million dots it has, but what I can see with my eyes, I'm quite happy with it. Yeah, and it's very responsive.
And it takes all Z-mount lenses?
It in fact does. So you will look at this camera as a vintage camera, but in fact it takes all the modern lenses, all the Z series lenses, 70-200, 2.8, 85, 1.2. They take them all.
How's the battery life?
The battery life is good. Because it shares the same battery as the normal Z6, but this one has the processor from the ZA, which uses a lot of battery. But it has USB-C charging, so you can go anywhere with it and charge it anywhere you want. So, but it only has one SD card slot. The battery slot.
Actually, no. There's actually a micro SD card right next to the SD card slot. So technically you have two.
Where the SD card, right there. It's nice. If you're not shooting like a wedding, I have never had my SD card fail on me, knock on wood. Damn it, there's no wood around. Yeah, so if you take care of your camera, one SD card, if you're just doing everyday sort of thing, photographing your family, going on a little Europe trip, that's all you need.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't there some sort of retro setting? Like a black and white setting or something like that?
Yes, indeed. If you want to quickly go back like 50 years in your time, there's a BW setting. You flick it over and turns everything to black and white. So that goes back to that thing again, that everything about this camera, all the changes, all the essential ones, is right on top, okay? No fadding around in the menu system, just everything just right here. You do still have customization buttons, but you barely need them because all the ones that you need is right here. Vibing out with my ZF. It's a great day. Look, even the camera goes with the weather today, okay? Look at that. Just goes with everybody. The other guy has a Nikon as well. He was looking at this camera. He's like, oh, this looks so good. I want to buy one. Yes, buy one.
Now, what other accessories can I buy for, say, this camera?
I would say this camera you should keep it minimal because, look, at the end of the day, this is not your cinema camera that you need to build to make it work. Everything works already. That's all you need. Maybe get a fast SD card. Get a nice strap. The Nikon one is great. Maybe get yourself a leather strap to really go with it. Oh my God, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I'll take one though. We back. All right, that was good fun. Back in the store. Let's go through a few more settings with this camera. Flip your screen. Very good. The video capability of this one is not bad as well. It does 4K 10-bit N-Log 422, I believe. You got your USB-C right here. Also got your microphone, HDMI.
What kind of battery does it take?
Great question. I don't know how, but Albert, you always come through for me. EN15C, which is great. I know the battery life is not insane, but the good thing about this is that you can buy this battery anywhere you go. When it comes to lenses, all of these lenses will fit on this camera. And as you can see, you also have a 28mm version in the vintage look. So you can either go with a 28 or 40. And I'll show you the little sister to this. The difference between this one and the ZFC, obviously first in price, but why you pay so much more for this one? Full frame sensor from the Z6, processor from the Z8 and the Z9. That's what you're paying for, fully metal body, whereas this one I believe is not that, I guess. If you really like taking photos and you really enjoy photography, you like the ergonomics of it, this is a no-brainer. I know it's a lot of money, but it's also a lot of camera at the same time. It's one of those cameras that you want to take with you wherever you go because you don't feel like you're holding a scientific calculator. It's nice, it's good looking, goes well with outfits. At the same time, it's a beast of a machine. So something that has worked for decades, still gonna work. Nikon Zf.